Well, it's week 6 of the LCS. I'm joined right now by Licorice with coverage brought to you by Alien. We're going to talk a little bit about how things are going on Cloud9. It feels like this weekend, I usually watch the game, and then at some point in time, a team starts losing, and they're losing, and they're losing, and then they win. And that's what seems to have just happened with you. Why is this occurring? I was just asking Tony about this.
Why is this occurring?
Why do I keep seeing teams come back and teams throw? Like, why is that the theme of this weekend?
I'm honestly not sure. Like this weekend, I want to say yesterday, like Saturday was super weird. Every game was just an absolute mess, and I was like, we were the 4th game, so I thought maybe our game would be a bit better, and then it really wasn't. It was just the same as all the other games. I think that because of the meta right now, it's just really weird for everybody because everyone's playing like weird matchups that they don't know and kind of champions that they don't know super well. So I think that a lot of it is just not everyone's super comfortable on stage right now.
Yeah, what do you think of the supposed shift towards a carry top meta?
So my coach prefers the Maokai meta. So a lot of teams are picking red side, and we've been one of the only teams that keeps picking blue on red side. Most of the teams are just giving counter picks to like either mid or top lane, usually with like a flex pick in the draft somewhere. That's not fun to play against, but I think that you can kind of play anything right now. I don't think you're limited to carries. I think that like tank picks are also good.
So it sounds like you're probably happy with the place the top lane is in.
I mean, I'd prefer some red side games where I can get the counter pick.
But that's a Cloud9 thing. That's not a meta thing, right?
No,
that's just Reaper picking something you don't want.
Yeah, it's just Reaper picking something I don't want. So if you're watching this, I'd love some red side games. Yeah.
I feel like you should have a better way to communicate with your coach than through my interviews. I'm a little worried if that's sort of the feedback loop. Is you're like, I need to get an interview with Travis today so I can get him to understand that I want to pick this champion. That's a little worrisome. Now, why? So what's the idea behind blue side? Like, why do you think he favors that so much?
I mean, blue side just opens up. Like, you get the first pick that you want, so you get like one champion that's going to be good for like bot or mid lane or jungle or whatever you're looking for. And then it just makes the draft a lot more simpler, where you kind of pick the champions that you're comfortable on, as opposed to having to let them pick the champions first, and then you have to counter pick with something that you might not be as comfortable on.
Yeah. One of the things that I've also been talking about with some folks in these interviews is just sort of the concern about the state of North America as a region, because some of these games don't inspire confidence. And I'm worried about what that means for us headed to the international stage at MSI and Rift Rivals. Do you have any thoughts on that? Are we in a tough place?
I think that there's a pretty big disparity between like the top 3 teams, which right now I would say like TSM, C9, and TL, and everyone else in terms of just like general like game knowledge, I guess, would be the biggest thing. So I think that for international tournaments, like MSI is coming up, I think that I would be very surprised if it's not one of C9, TL, or TSM going. And if that's the case, I don't think there's any need to be worried about it. I think that like the top 3 teams are really strong right now.
Out of those 3, or besides those 3, if you had to pick a 4th to kind of like rise up, or that you think you would, what is it? They're doing like the stock investment game on the analyst desk. If you had to bet on one of these other teams to kind of come up and join the top 3, who would you pick?
I think that if Clutch Gaming could like shore up some of their weaknesses, namely that they throw really hard a lot. I think if they can fix that they could actually be a really, really strong team. And if they could like sneak a playoff spot in, they could be like a real contender.
I mean, that's interesting. They're struggling pretty tough right now. So it's interesting that you would pick them out of any of the other teams. It seems like you must really think they have the potential to make it work.
I think that just based on like player skill level, they should just be like maybe like half a step ahead of everyone else, so that if they can make their team work, then they would be the strongest out of the rest.
What else is going on behind the scenes with Cloud9 these days? I always am kind of curious, because sometimes, we can see stuff in shows or whatever, but anything interesting happening behind the scenes? Or you hanging out with any of the guys? I don't know if you've become best buds with Niski now and you guys go out in club. Who knows? But just kind of curious what C9 life is like these days.
C9 life. I mean, it's good. We still live in the team house, so we're around each other most of the time. There's not a ton. We've started doing like team dinners every week, like every Sunday night or Monday night, just like as a way to get everyone out together. But for the most part, I think everyone just like, we're all good friends. We work together, we scrim together, and then after scrims, like if we're not doing, we're just like kind of doing our own thing.
Are you hoping to move to a model where do you like living with the guys, or would you rather have your own place? Because some of the teams are doing like the office thing, and I know CNN's getting an office, so I don't know.
Um, I mean, I've never really tried the office thing, but it does sound like nice. We'll just have to wait and see when we do get it. I know it's been in the works for like a long time now at C9, so.
Is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Um, I don't know. Just like thanks for the support. There's not really like much going on right now that I'd want to like talk about, but just like yeah, like thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Licorice, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that interview. Don't click away because I want to tell you about Alienware, our sponsor. Thank you so much to Alienware for sponsoring everything we do this year. If you haven't noticed, the majority, there's a couple that slipped by yesterday, but the majority of my interviews so far, the split, have been in 4K. That's something we've never been able to do before, and we did it literally because Alienware was able to give us a beast-ass laptop notebook to edit this 4K footage on while we're at the LCS. My editor uses it. That's why this is in 4K. It's super hype. So anyway, that just allows you guys to see the crisp, I don't know, poor-like resolution on the pro players. That's really what you want. I think I don't know anymore. I got to go interview Hanser, so I'll catch you later.